Hey guys, Kai here, and today we're going to continue our look into AC Valhalla. From what Ubisoft has shown, exploration is a big part of Valhalla, and it appears to be more meaningful and rewarding than past games. I am a big history geek, and the exploration in Odyssey and Origins, with all the lore about the time period, is really an awesome thing. And this will be no different in Valhalla. The video mentions that exploring will allow us to upgrade skills and search pagan temples and ruins to find new activities and challenges, to strengthen up ourselves and settlements. Upgrading settlements through exploration is interesting though. I wonder how it actually gets upgraded. Maybe we find some old text that allows us to learn a new way of making tools or something for our villagers, maybe from the Isu. Going back to the upgraded abilities in the 30-minute gameplay, we see that players have to collect books of knowledge to upgrade skills, and you need 2 of these books to upgrade the ability. We see ranged and melee abilities, so it's the same from Odyssey. The one ability we can quickly see is the Dive of Valkyries, which launches Eivor into the air to come crashing down on the enemies. This ability sounds pretty awesome, and I really want to know the other one. Some other exploration info mentioned was that players will have to hunt and scavenge for food to survive, and fishing plays a big role in this. It's intriguing that Ubisoft is opting to add survival elements to Valhalla. Origins and Odyssey could have used the same system, but it wasn't included. I just find it odd to add it now when Assassin's Creed isn't advertised as a survival game. I'm assuming that it'll be a minor thing as long as it isn't annoying, like having to go and get food every 10 minutes or you die. This is one of the systems I'm interested in seeing how it works in the long run. We can also, and most importantly, have a cat in our longship, which is a huge win in my book. But on a serious note, it's cool these little missions are in the game to give Eivor some personality and allow players to see the other side of the character, besides when they're chopping limbs and heads off. A couple other little things that are added to the exploration is the environment puzzles. The example shown was a house had a chest inside, and the door was locked. Looking around, the player finds the window open and shoots the arrow at the lock to unlock the door. I think this is a cool feature that's being added, as it will challenge players to thoroughly look around to find the clues and answers for the treasure they're looking for. There is also rock stacking, which is called building a cairn, which is an interesting addition, but Ubisoft is aiming to add activities to create a more relaxed and chill experience for the players. There is also the addition of chasing paper. If anyone remembers Assassin's Creed 3 and chasing the almanac papers, you'll know how annoying but fun it could be. These papers in Valhalla are to unlock Eivor's tattoos, so it will be necessary if you want Eivor to be covered in tattoos. Moving on to another implementation, and that is the addition of player choice in the game. The example in the 30 minutes of bonus footage showed that the player decided to spare Rued after defeating them in the assault. And by doing so, Rued returns at Oswald's wedding for a final battle. The player could have killed Rued right at the first fight, and this would have meant the wedding wouldn't have had an interruption. The commentators at the end mentioned that no matter the choice, Oswald will always make an alliance with you. Now, I know the alliance is most likely has to happen for story purposes, but does not just make it feel like the choice isn't that important. Before the second fight, if you spared Rued, Oswald says that he would be one to fight, and you have the opportunity to step in and fight for him, which is what the commentators chose to do. Now, if you did allow Oswald to fight, you know he wouldn't have died. You probably would have stepped in anyway, because let's be fair, Oswald wasn't going to win. The overall story isn't ever going to change from our decisions. It just might lead to maybe more or different dialogue and cutscenes. Do you think it's necessary for the choice to be even in the game? Or would a focused scripted out story have been a better option? Now, Ubisoft has stated many times that Valhalla is the authentic real Viking story, but that doesn't mean it's completely out of the myths and folklore of the Norse mythology. The gameplay showed a dead man who was hanging by his arms at what looks like a sacrificial altar, which will apparently be scattered throughout the world. In this demo, it leads to a fight with a woman named Regan, who begins fighting with some crazy abilities. Now, she actually doesn't have any magic. Eivor was just poisoned at the altar and didn't know it, and this is what allows for the mystical abilities that we see. When Regan is defeated, we see she's a part of the Daughters of Lyrion, which is very interesting because the Daughters of Lyrion don't have any mystical story to them at all. So I'm intrigued to see how they incorporate that story into being a mystical side story in Valhalla. And we finally saw some gameplay of Flyting. If you don't know what this is, it's a Viking rap battle. It's more of a rhyming poetry game, but rap battle sounds cooler. And apparently villagers can randomly call Eivor out for battle for some coins. In game, it will be a time choice minigame. The NPC will say a line and the players have to pick the best one that fits and rhymes within a certain amount of time. I wish the timer was a bit quicker just to add some more stress to the situation, but I think it's a cool feature added to the game anyway. I hope there are some higher stakes situations in the story that will require Eivor's rhyming ability. Exploration is one of my favorite things to do in a game, and I'm glad Ubisoft kept that a big part of Valhalla. The Flyting and the Mysticism are intriguing additions that will surely add some flair to the game. The player choice is something that might prove to be unnecessary. I know Ubisoft is trying to add more RPG elements to the Assassin's Creed series and make for a hybrid RPG Assassin's Creed game. I'm hoping Valhalla gives the old Assassin's Creed experience we've been waiting for. But Valhalla is the first attempt at this and it could prove difficult. Let me know down in the comments below how you guys feel about this. If you're looking for more content, click on one of the videos coming up now or one in the description below. Don't forget to hit that sub button to keep up with the Valhalla info, and until next time, peace.